When the Polish immigrants first arrived here in Chicopee, they came for one main reason: jobs, which were plentiful in the mills of the city. Like many other ethnic groups, they eventually assimilated and built their own community with their own traditions and customs. That rich legacy was celebrated this past year here at St. Stan's. Recently, St. Stan's concluded its 125th anniversary celebration. Steve Kiltonic has this report.
Since 1908, it has stood like a fortress on Front Street in Chicopee. St. Stanislaus Bishop and Martyr Basilica is a testament to the Polish immigrants and the conventual Franciscans who built it. On May 7th, the parish completed its year-long celebration of its 125th anniversary with a massive Thanksgiving. Concelebrating the Mass was Springfield Bishop Mitchell Rosansky, Father James McCurry, Minister Provincial of Our Lady of Angels Province, and Father Joseph Benisevich, the pastor. Represented at the Mass was St. Stanislaus School, including the Franciscan Sisters of St. Joseph, as well as the Franciscans and the Franciscan Missionary Sisters of Assisi. After the Mass, a gala banquet held at the Castle of Knights officially concluded the anniversary year. Stephen Jędrzejczyk, the parish historian, wrote a book in 2005 chronicling the Polish history in Chicopee. Jędrzejczyk's family dates back to the parish's early years. This photo depicts his grandparents Louis and Catherine Jędrzejczyk, who arrived in 1901. Jędrzejczyk explained about the first Polish immigrants who arrived in the late 1880s.
The bulk of the people who came to St. Stanislaus were from Galicia, which is southern Poland, the Austrian part of Poland. They basically came of their own free will, and they paid their own way. They actually had a visa from the Polish government to come here. They had to be released by the government. But the difference was, as I always say, they had America fever.
The Poles came to Chicopee for jobs, which were plentiful in the city's huge textile mills.
Many of them were coming here to make a stake and go back and buy land in Poland.
The first Polish families to arrive were welcomed by Father Patrick Healy, pastor of Holy Name Church.
They slept in the old rectory where the Polish Center is now, and he got them jobs, and he got them a place to live. Extraordinary man.
The two largest employers, Dwight Mills in Chicopee Center and Chicopee Manufacturing, primarily processed raw cotton into fabric. Springfield Bishop Patrick O'Reilly appointed Father Francis Halupka as the first pastor to establish a new St. Stanislaus parish in 1891. The first church, a wood-frame structure, was built in 1895 and dedicated by Springfield Bishop Thomas Bevan. Three Felician sisters opened a parish school in 1897 using 2 classrooms in the basement of the church. 5 years later, the Franciscan Sisters of St. Joseph started to teach at the school. In 1901, the conventual Franciscan friars arrived from Webster to take over the ministry of St. Stanislaus Parish.
The friars were immigrants themselves, and they worked to keep this beautiful integration of faith, culture, hope, dreams here in the new land of America.
It was soon evident that the growing population of Poles needed a larger house of worship. In 1908, the second St. Stanislaus Church was built.
It only cost $125,000, which was a lot of money in those days. But at the time, this was the largest church in the whole United States of America for Polish Roman Catholics.
Father McCurry said the architects designed the brownstone Baroque Revival-style cathedral to resemble the old Franciscan churches in Poland. The glorification of St. Stanislaus, the bishop and martyr, is depicted in the ceiling. The majority of Stations of the Cross and stained glass windows were made by European artists and are original to the church.
The windows themselves depict some of the great moments from the scriptures, from the Bible, as well as some of the great Franciscan saints, as well as some of the great Polish saints.
At the center of the altar is the Black Madonna of Częstochowa. Outside the main entrance is a plaque dedicated on July 7, 1991, the day the church was elevated to basilica status by Pope John Paul II. Father McCurry explains why it remains an important milestone in the parish's history. Parishioners were surprised on the day of the Centennial Mass, which was presided over by Springfield Bishop Joseph McGuire, Pastor Marion Tolczyk, and Archbishop Karol Macharski from Poland.
Only a few churches in the world have basilica status, and it has to be because of their history, because of their beauty, because of their ministry to a wider circle of people than even just the parish community.
Stella Obrick's parents came to Chicopee in the late 1890s. Now 98, she recalls attending church with her parents and 5 siblings.
At that time, there were many, many priests, so they would have celebrated masses with masses on the Falls side and on the Chicopee side. And those were always very spectacular. But we were very close to the church because my dad insisted on it, and we took part in every event that was going on. Every priest that had an anniversary or something, we celebrated. So far, I'm very, very honored and thrilled to be part of the church because that's my life, really. That's my life.
Joanne and Bill Zaski are lifelong parishioners of St. Stan's.
But everything that seemed to have happened in our life centered around the church. It was the social activities along with the religious services that we were always participating in.
After graduating from 8th grade at St. Stan's, Joanne became a member of Our Lady's Sodality. A highlight was the crowning of the Blessed Mother statue.
And we marched in procession into church and attended Mass. And at that time, all the women wore hats, very different from what it is now. And after Mass, we went to the parish school for the communion breakfast. And the hall was filled. It was just full to capacity with mothers and daughters. And it was wonderful.
Bill spoke of the many Polish traditions.
You always address the priest in Polish, "Niech będzie pochwalony Jezus Chrystus." And traditionally, and he would answer back, "Na wieki wieków, amen." So,
what does that mean?
Forever and ever.
But praise be Jesus Christ.
And then forever and ever.
The anniversary year revolved around faith, family, and future. It began last April with an opening Mass and reception. In August, the parish picnic and Mass were held at Zopp Park. Hot dogs and hamburgers were served, and there were many activities for the kids.
No charge to the event, just wanted people to come to celebrate with their families, bring the kids, bring the grandkids, pray for good weather, and hope that it all would go well up there that day, and it did.
This year marks the 120th graduating class from St. Stanislaus School. All the alumni, as well as teachers and those who just attended the school, were invited to a special reunion in the fall. An Advent concert was held in December with Marek Kalucki, a renowned organist and conductor from Austria. Celebrating our diversity was the theme of the multicultural fair held this past March. Father Benesevich said that while the Polish community here remains strong, many other groups and cultures are present in the parish, including Latino, Portuguese, Filipino, and Nigerian, which are all very much a part of the fabric of the parish today. All at St. Stan's owe a special debt of gratitude to the Polish immigrants who came to America, endured hardship, and founded the parish. And to the current and future generations of the parish, it's wished, 100 lat, 100 lat, nie żyje, żyje na. May you live to be 100. For Real to Real, I'm Steve KILTONIC.
Congratulations to all here at St. Stan's on this very special anniversary. It's certainly one that I'm sure all the parishioners will look back on and remember fondly.